air for up to 10 years makes you an old-timer. Being on the air longer than that practically makes you an institution. Tonight, in the first part of her series, Radio Wars, Rebecca Shaw tells us why for so many Clevelanders, a day without Jeff and Flash is like a day without sunshine.
744 MMS on the radio. Thanks for dialing our way. This is Dire Straits.
Good morning, Cleveland. This morning brought to you by the Buzzard Morning Zoo.
We will start with caller number 15.
It's a busy morning for zookeeper Jeff Kinzbach. Oh, there are the usual elements. The explosions. The characters.
And there we are wearing red lipstick. And what does that make me think of? Oh, I don't know. What could it be? Could it be the great evil one, Satan?
And the jokes. Like the one about the lawyer telling his client there is good news about his upcoming execution.
I got the voltage reduced.
But in addition to what listeners have become accustomed to hearing, today is singularly different. We visited MMS on a day when all radio stations in Cleveland were talking about drug awareness. Now, going from high comedy to sobering interviews on drug abuse can be a hard corner to turn, but it's one the Morning Zoo is comfortable with.
It's easy to get number one. It's really tough to hang on to being number one because everybody is shooting at you. Everybody's stealing your bits. We do jokes on the air, I'll hear them down the dial the next day.
Jeff Kinzbach and newsman/sidekick Flash Ferentz have been together for the last 16 years, 13 of that on the air here at MMS. In that time, they have dominated Cleveland's airwaves. Manning the controls, Jeff is a study in concentration, intense, organized, deliberate. Flash is the base runner, the laugh, the reaction, the sounding board. By now, their morning zoo is a well-oiled machine, their personalities weaving in and out of each other as effortlessly as breathing.
Well, we're married, but not to each other.
We spend an awful lot of time together, and we both want to make it work. We both want to make some money, and we both want to stay in Cleveland.
The animals around them have changed through the years. Today, the zoo includes Tom Bush and his menagerie of voices.
Well, I was out of work, of course. I had finished my 8 years. And then Jim and Fresh called me up and said, would you like to be on the zoo? And I thought, well, golly.
The goal is to keep the show fresh, even after all these years. At one time, they owned this time slot. There was hardly any competition. Now, several stations are at their back door, but MMS says they will not give up without a fight. They are fighting for the rights to their hometown, for the sleepy Clevelanders who need help waking up. And for many, the wake-up call couldn't come from any bird other than the buzzard.
What is the least used phrase in the English language?
What?
Touchdown Steelers.
Rebecca Shaw, Eyewitness News.
Whether you're in broadcasting or not, you have to know that 15 years together on the air is not something you find very often. But you can find just that by tuning into the Buzzard Morning Zoo on WMMS every morning. Jeff Kinzbach and Ed Flash Ferentz continue to rule the morning airwaves, and they join us here today on Live on 5. We're glad to say welcome and congratulations.
Well, thanks for inviting us.
Really, thanks for the nice intro there.
Yeah, it's
Very
true.
kind.
Number one, 15 years together, which is a long time. Marriages sometimes don't last 15 years.
It lasts longer than ours, believe it.
I mean, congratulations for a lot of reasons. It is kind of like a marriage, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
The two of you?
Yeah, it really is. You work very close together, and you have a chemistry that you develop, and you really have to realize what he's going to say and anticipate it, and he's got to realize and kind of feel what I'm going to say, and of course, then we fight like cats and dogs, too.
Which is the same kind of thing, right? You know, for example, in a marriage, you meet someone, you see them for the first time, and you think, what? What did you think in your case the first time you saw Jeff? You were friends to begin with, though, weren't you?
Well, actually, here's what we did. We started in '73, and about 2 months apart, and then they saw us running around the halls together. I started in news right away, and they said, hey, these guys seem pretty good. They seem like good friends, so we should put them together on the air. So in December of '76, I believe it was the end of December 28th, we got together. That was our first day. Officially, he was subbing because the morning guy was a late night kind of guy. And
we hear you.
And then
Irresponsible.
he came
Show
in.
up on time.
He would call in about 6:30 or so and say, I'm not going to make it. And then Jeff would come in and sub for him. And then the chemistry seemed to work. And then we kept, you know, it worked really well. So our bosses together decided, hey, let's put them together, and Jeff and Flash was born.
Yeah. And we basically had the same goals, too. We both like playing with people's minds with sounds and different effects and ideas, and it really works.
But staying number one is not an easy thing to do.
You know, it's kind of easy to...
I mean, there's ups and downs.
Right, it really is. It's kind of easy to become number one. You really, you know, it's not that hard to become number one. Nowadays, people throw cash out. You know, pick up your newspaper. Oh, here, we win all this cash. Sure you are, you know. But they throw cash out in front of you, and you can really become number one fairly easy. The idea is to hang on to it, to keep things fresh over the years, to keep things unpredictable, and at the same time, be reliable and familiar enough that people count on you. And that's a tough combination.
Sure it is.
The thing we discovered about being number one, too, is when you get to be number one, everybody tapes you. They copy exactly what you do, and then they do the same thing, and then we got to come up with something different.
You got to come up with something new.
Exactly.
Yeah, we have a routine called the token jokes of the morning, and the way that was formed, we never wanted to be joking type of disc jockeys, and we're not the kind of guys that come out and go, you know, but we used to put all our jokes in one particular portion of the show, and listeners would send them in to us and stuff, and so we called those the token jokes of the show. And people to this day still send us jokes, and we have a joke contest, and you can win grand prizes each week for best joke. But the jokes we put on the station today will show up on another radio station tomorrow morning.
Don't you love it? Don't you
It's
just
amazing.
love it? I tell you. And one thing we were talking about, like 15 years for them, we were comparing notes here because I've been here 14 years, so we're all from Cleveland.
Yeah.
Being from Cleveland, has that been an advantage to you, actually being born and raised here?
I
know
say
it has
so.
been for me.
We know how to pronounce all the names.
Among other things.
But anyway, it's fun. It really is, because we enjoy Cleveland. It is our pride and joy. And it's great to see the people that you grew up with. You know, we got our 20-year reunion this year. That's another thing.
Oh, it's fun.
And it's really neat to see this happen. And it's great to see what happened to Cleveland over the past 20 years.
Oh, isn't that the truth? You know, you can't leave and go back and not have talked about the rest of the people on your team. Tell us a little bit about them, so the people who don't know, a little inside story.
Well, we got a good group of people working with MMS now. And MMS went through a kind of a rough period the last few years, and I think it had a lot to do with just kind of adapting to its audience, and things changed lifestyle-wise for a lot of people. But we got a good group of people that work with us. We got Matt the Cat, who's been with the station for at least 15 years. He comes on after us. Lisa Dillon in the afternoon. Rocco the Rock Dog, Gonzo Radio at night, and he's doing really well with it.
Major success story
Yes,
there.
that's
The
good.
BLF Bash, and we got some good people behind the scenes that work with us.
Mr. Leonard.
Yeah.
Well,
Do we have to get to that?
Well, he's listening. He's going to wonder why you... I mentioned you. Remember that, Mr. Leonard.
He is the so-called
Yes.
Assistant Public Service Director and part-time editorialist.
Is that right?
And
He said-
big-time troublemaker.
he says, you tell my good friend Wilma that, you know, if I wasn't taken already...
Oh, I love it. It's
But
good
he
to
is a
have you
lot
here,
of fun.
really.
He can be a nuisance sometimes, but he is an integral part of the show.
This is Jeff and Flash. You listen to him on the radio in the morning, and obviously you do. They're here with us. Congratulations. Good to have you here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Go ahead this night. The Buzzards Morning Jocks are here, and they're going to do sports.
All you Jeff and Flash fans out there, they're going to tell you all about hot happenings at NFL camp.
Okay, sports fans, something special for you tonight. Jim Donovan here with sports, and he has a couple of very special guests this night.
Thanks, Leon. The Jocks do sports this week right here on Channel 3. And here tonight at 11 o'clock, what a great thrill to have the two guys that have been the big members of the Buzzard Morning Zoo for 15 years. Ed Flash Ferris, Jeff Kinzbach here to do sports 15 years, and you two are still speaking.
Well,
That's right.
Some people that wake up that early in the morning together don't
but you know
speak.
what? Still, no World Series.
Ah, well,
We're trying so hard, man.
let me give you the big build-up right now. Okay. And now it's time for sports.
All right, we're going to start with the Indians tonight and the fate of relief pitcher Doug Jones. Doug Jones has been sentenced to remain with the Indians for the rest of the season. The other option, of course, was for Jones to be waived and join the rest of the 86 Indians in Toronto and probably go on to the World Series. Jones is 1-7 this year after saving 43 games last year. His new strategy is going to be to yell to the opposing batters what pitch is going to be next. So good luck, Jones.
Hang in there, guy. I know it's tough. Indians, by the way, are back home after winning 3 games in a row. They take on the A's and Jose Canseco tomorrow night at the stadium. Now let's hope that Jose's new interest, Madonna, might show for the game. You never know. Madonna has been promised by tribe officials that she faces no chance of being harassed by the fans since the Indians normally play in front of friends and family.
All right, we go around the ballparks tonight, and we're going to begin in Texas, where the floundering Red Sox are facing the Texas Rangers. Now, the Red Sox have been doing their New England Patriots imitation lately, winning once a week if they're lucky. In Arlington tonight, watch this. Kevin Reamer loses control of his bat. Watch out there in the 13th row. What a
Check that
sport.
out.
The guy gives the bat back. Can you believe that? Ooh, and you thought...
Albert Bell had it, though.
Yeah, really, exactly. All right, now watch this. Who's going to get it? Is it going to be Mike? Or is it going to... Oh, there he is, Mike Greenwell.
Kiss the ground.
Yeah, really. All right, wake up. And Steve Buechele hits this home run off Roger Clemens. And Texas takes a 2-1 lead.
Right.
Yeah. The Rangers.
Now let's go on to the Chicago game. In Chicago, where there's positive proof that ballparks can be built, the Milwaukee Brewers are facing the White Sox. Now, what's this here? A big tarp, or did Roseanne Barr decide to parachute into Kaminsky Park to sing the national anthem?
Oh, Flash.
Dan Pasqua ties the game up with a bomb to right field. It's tied 4-4, and the White Sox are going on.
That's right, they go on. Well, it's
That's the
5
eighth inning there,
8th
4-5.
All right, big game tonight in the National League. The Atlanta Braves take on the first-place Pirates in Pittsburgh. Now look at this. Nothing like a little Iron City in a bottle.
Hey, no, wait a minute, wait a minute.
Braves bust the game wide open when Greg Olson triples with the bases loaded in the 4th inning. Braves go on to win the game by a score of 7-3 in Pittsburgh.
And we got one more game here coming up.
Look at this. Houston.
Houston and St. Louis. Houston losing by a score of 9-1.
Just a little bit, though. They're just losing by a bunch.
Yeah.
Just a couple.
All right, let's go to Browns training camp now. The Browns were only on the practice field this afternoon. They lifted weights earlier this morning. Of course, it's very hot out there. Temperatures running high on the practice field in this heat. Watch number 67, Mike Morris. Is this holding or what? Morris has been cut by the Browns. Coach Belichick likes the spirit of these guys this week, though.
First week, a lot of learning. You know, seeing things under fire with the line rushing and all that, and I think as we go here, and the not only the quarterbacks but everybody gets more familiar with each other, the skill positions, the receivers, the running backs, that the evaluations will be easier for us. You know, we're still feeling our way along on some of that stuff.
Way to go, Bill. Chicago Bears quarterback Jim Harbaugh ended a brief holdout today by signing a 2-year, $2.5 million contract. And you thought winning the lottery was fun.
I'm telling you.
Part of his deal says he does not have to stand in line behind Refrigerator Perry in the Bears cafeteria training camp. What's he, 370 pounds now? The goal is for Harbaugh to put on some weight.
That's right.
Yeah.
And a big comeback today for American Greg LeMond in the Tour de France. He battled back to his second-place finish in today's 16th stage. LeMond actually fell during today's stage and battled 104-degree heat and aching feet to keep his Tour de France title's hopes alive. And he still is 5th overall, 4 minutes and 42 seconds out of the lead for Greg LeMond in the Tour de France.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to wrap things up, and we do that with the fight of the night. All right.
You're going to like this. It all started out as a quiet day at Bengals training camp.
Then, Sam Wyche had just delivered his speech on the key to a winning team is a team that gets along.
Then Eddie Brown and Lynn James demonstrated Sam's point here. Hey, not bad, huh?
All right.
Now watch Sam. There he is. Look at Sam.
I like that camaraderie there.
There you go. All right, Flash. And Big Jeff Kinzbach finishing up a very fine sportscast tonight, guys.
It was fun.
Huh? Did you have a good time?
For our first time, you know, it's not the easiest thing in the world.
Now they got to get up at 5 in the morning,
4.
to get back into the zoo.
Yeah, we got to be there at 5.
Yeah, let's throw some peanuts over to the news desk.
All right.
Thanks for
tomorrow.
coming by, guys.
Hey, thanks for giving it back to us.